See down in the adult area, the one with the big mirror on top. We got a picture. You may see
Yeah.
it. I saw that picture the other day, dude. I cracked up. I was on the treadmill.
Yeah. Where they we took the selfie of like the mirror. Yeah. That's such a good picture. I think we might have our captain hats on too. I can't
I
remember.
think we do. That's the best picture ever. Hey guys. Oh, mercy, mercy. Oh, Cardinals up 4-1. Paul Goldschmidt. Yeah, there we are, right there on Twitter. That's interesting. Never had that up when we're doing this. We look like we're having a good time. It's like a screenshot of us. We're both grinning. So there you go. That's something. Hey, everybody. We're getting ready to do a draft. It's going to be a resort. So forget the thing at the bottom. We're not doing Magic Kingdom attractions.
Oh, you had that written down. That's funny.
I'm trying to think of something. Let's see. I'll fix it real quick. We are starting. Let me just do this. We are resort rest rooms, lobbies. Is that IES? Right, LOBBIES.
I think so. Yes.
And what's your thoughts? Save. Show comments. Jason's here. Happy Tuesday, Jason Miller.
Yes.
Oh, mercy. See if we can do this on a Tuesday now. Okay, so we are doing this for way ahead of time. So, this is for after the cruise, like a week after the cruise. This is going to be for like mid-July, these shows. So we can't talk about the news or anything going on right now. So that is where we are. Okay, here we go. And God, Wilson Contreras. That dude drives me nuts. He's all out at second base. We're in last place, dude. Just get the hit and go. Oh my God.
2 more days of school.
School. My wife's been out for a month.
I just said to Elizabeth, like, man, it feels like summer's already over and it hasn't even officially started yet. We need to change how the seasons are formatted, though. Like, I think June 1st should be like when summer starts officially. Like, I don't know.
That'd be a good. Yeah. Well, I mean, they do that for like the meteorological, whatever they call it.
I mean, that's just so old school, right? Like, summer is the way it is because of like school kids need to do farming or whatever,
yeah,
Like, I mean, it goes way back, but
yeah, probably not.
I think we should like update our seasons. But
that's a good point. I mean, dude, 2 days of school left. Pam's seriously been worried about seeing back to school sales at the stores around here. I mean, it's crazy.
I don't know about you, but I feel like December 22nd or whatever is a really weird time for winter officially begin. Because winter for me feels like it starts in November.
Well, for you, I mean, yeah, because you're farther north. I mean, yeah, like I always consider it like kind of around my birthday. Like we can get our first snow. It never snows like before my birthday. It's just Thanksgiving. I mean,
it does here.
Yeah, you guys probably do. I mean, usually our first.
I remember Alyssa's birthday is the day after yours, and I remember one of the worst snowstorms ever on her birthday once.
Really?
Yeah.
I love snow too because I love that first snow. I'm always like, come on, snow.
Yeah. So I didn't mean to get a sidetrack, but like, I said today, like, it feels like summer's over, but technically it doesn't start till like tomorrow or Thursday, I think.
Today. It started this morning.
Oh, it's today?
Yeah. Today's the longest day of the year. After today, they get shorter.
I know. It makes me sad.
I know, dude. I hate that. I'm just like,
dude, the sun sets at like 9:20 here.
That is ridiculous because you're like far in
we're very Western Eastern time zone. Yeah.
Cool. That is cool.
So yeah, so our days are super long because the sun's out at like 5:30 and then 5:30 to 9:30.
That's crazy. I mean, it's still going strong. You'd still light there though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's 8:21. I mean, I got another hour at least.
Sweet. We'll watch it here as we record. Okay, here we go. Let's do this. We got 20 through 18. All right. Welcome to episode 2318 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. And guess what? We're not doing listener questions today. We are going to jump in here and have a draft show with Scotty G. We're going to have some fun because, again, we have a podcast for you. We recorded this one just a little bit early because we were down at Walt Disney World and sailing with our friends on the Disney Wish. We'll have lots of recaps coming your way here shortly. But we had to get these shows ready, prepared on the feed, ready to go so that when we got home, everything was set. So we'll be back in the studio this week recording fresh episodes, even though this one should be fresh. There's no way you can hear it ahead of time. So, well, I guess you could if you went on YouTube. But we're going to have a good time with the draft here. We love these. So, Paul, get your pin ready because here we go. Your friend of mine joining us from up in Michigan. We are back. Scotty G. What's up, Scott?
Hey, Mike. Happy to be back and happy to be doing another draft. Like, listener questions are my favorite shows to record because you never know what kind of question you're going to get from a listener. But these draft episodes are right up there. So can't wait to see what the analysis is from our own Adam Schefter Paul over there in New Jersey. So let's get rolling with an awesome drafting tonight.
I just got to say, though, the guy on ESPN, the reporter Clayton, he passed away just recently.
Yeah, John Clayton. Yeah.
John Clayton. Was that not the best ESPN commercial ever?
Yeah. I'll never forget.
The meatloaf.
I'll never forget. I mean, rest in peace, John Clayton. And you were, I think you were a little bit behind on the news. I think you might know where I'm going with. But we're at Geyser Point over Marathon Weekend. And you kind of like lean into me and like, Scott, look behind you, man. I'm pretty sure that's John Clayton. And I'm like, I'm sorry, Mike, but John Clayton is dead. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
I had not had a drink
for you to find out that way.
Yeah, I think everybody's got somebody like that in the news, though, right? Like you'll hear a story about somebody in the news, and you're just like, wow, I didn't know that person was still with.
I know.
Yeah. Or I didn't know they've been gone for 10 years. You just maybe you were busy that day and it was only covered quickly. I don't know.
Yeah.
So real quick,
I remember like a year ago, someone I knew was like, man, I can't believe Leslie Nielsen passed away. I'm like, dude, Leslie Nielsen passed away a few years ago. Sorry to break it to you.
Well, he'd be like 110 probably. I love that guy. Airplane is one of my favorite movies.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so kind of tangentially before we get into the draft, I just got to ask you while you're here, because these shows are always a little bit different when it's you and I with loose and we have fun. ESPN, which is a subsidiary, at least right now, of Disney. I don't know how long that's going to last because we're talking about spinning that off. But back in the day, I mean, it was a big deal when you went to Walt Disney World. Like I remember getting like an ESPN shirt. I had an ESPN hat that I got over at the ESPN restaurant on the boardwalk. They had a little souvenir store next to it. And when you came home with that stuff, this would probably been like probably the early 2000s. Like people loved it. Like I had a windbreaker. I mean, you couldn't get that stuff anywhere. I think outside of like Connecticut, where the studios were.
Yeah, right there in like Hartford, I think is where their headquarters are. Yeah, like I love the ESPN gear. I mean, as a sports guy, obviously, like I loved it, and it's just crazy how it's evolved so much. Because like back then, man, it was just ESPN, and now every sport has their own network, and now CBS has like their great sports, and NBC has their own sports. It's just kind of funny, like how it's branched off so much, but like still like the home base for me, and it's not just because I'm a Disney guy, it's still ESPN. Like that's my place.
That's it. But I think the thing that sold ESPN, I promise to get into the draft, is that back then they made their personalities, the Stuart Scotts,
Scott Van Pelt, and who's still there amazingly. Scott Van Pelt is still there. Like
right. Chris Berman, these people, they were like bigger than life. I mean, we're sports fans, so obviously we were in it. But I think that they were more a part of the pop culture even at that point than they are now. And I think what sold it a lot is remember those old commercials they used to run? I mean, they had the best commercials where they'd have athletes interacting with the on-air talent. Those were the best.
Yep.
What was your favorite?
One of my favorites is, there's so many, but Stu, it's my Scott. My Scotts are in there. Stuart Scott and Scott Van Pelt are like in the cafeteria. And there's like this lemonade stand or like lemonade.
I don't know what you're talking
about. And there's the iced tea, and Arnold Palmer is in front of them, and he makes an Arnold Palmer, and Scott Van Pelt like, that was the greatest thing ever. So good.
There's so many of them. Yeah, like athletes.
Well, I remember like athletes would come in there too, just not Arnold Palmer. I remember one with like when the big three for the Boston Celtics. It was like Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and like one other, they made this big trade, and they called them like they were trying to get like a nickname, and so they went to Stuart Scott and all these guys, and they came up with like the Boston Tree Party or Three Party is what it was. Like, just, I mean, I can go on and on. I mean, there's so many great ones. What about you? What's one that sticks out to you?
Well, they had Albert Pujols in one where the machine, and he's just making copies. That's all things that happen.
Oh yes,
like they're working.
You see him like in the corporate world, yeah.
And he's like, he's just grinning at him, just like a nice guy making copies. And then as soon as like they show his point of view, it's like robot eyes, like just stand in the room. But the best one I think of all time, and again, this is not my team. The New Jersey Devils mascot gets in that elevator. And like I think Stuart Scott was getting in the elevator, and the devil hits the button to go down. He's like, no thanks. And he jumps out. He doesn't go down the elevator with the devil.
So good.
Anyway, this is terrible. But
not even the best elevator commercial I've ever seen from the Walt Disney Company. That was the Disney Cruise Line one where the lucky souvenir or whatever it's called. Like, oh man, so
Totally.
good.
Anyway, we should probably do a show here. No, this is fun. This is, but I mean,
We
this
could
was
draft
one.
commercials
We
sometime.
totally could. I need to go on YouTube because, but I mean, it really did. I mean, when I went to Walt Disney World, I was jazzed that I got to go eat at ESPN Club, and I would always get a souvenir, a hat,
Yeah.
a shirt. I got a windbreaker one time, and I was
Yeah.
like, man, when you came home with that, people were like, where'd you get that?
I know we've touched upon it on multiple episodes where I brought it up, like a flashback or what do you miss and like or regrets. And I really wish I would have been there around for like an ESPN the weekend.
Yes,
You know, where like
same.
had all those ESPN personalities, celebrity athletes, just kind of like Star Wars weekend, except sports. Like, man,
I
I'm so
know.
bummed that I missed that and that they went away.
So many things that I wish I would have seen, but I didn't. But you
Yeah.
know, I got to
But
take
no
the
regrets though, right? Like I've had so many great memories, so many great things have come since then. But like you think about the past, you're like, oh man, it would have been awesome if I could have done that. But
All right. Well, shout out to Emily who's leaving for Walt Disney World tomorrow as we record. By the time this comes out, you will have been back and we can do a trip report.
it'd be awesome if she's not back. That'd be a heck of a
Oh,
vacation.
yeah, that's true. Maybe she won't. Maybe she's doing it. You know, she's taking up residency.
Like, Scotty G in 2020, just doing like 3 weeks down there.
That's
Who knows?
very true. All right. So it is time to get into the draft today. Resort centered theme for our 3 categories. We're drafting 4 selections in each of the 3 categories. And our categories are resort restrooms, resort lobbies, and the best resort landscaping. So that's what we're going with. Scott, let's talk about the rules because we are going to have some ground rules for this draft today. A little bit different.
Yeah, normally we just kind of like it's free for all, right? But I think with the resorts, I think it's good that we touch upon all of these because some of these, if you're thinking at home right now, like, oh yeah, you can go heavy deluxe resorts on a lot of these, but we don't want to do that. We want to spread the love. So we get 4 picks each. So not in any particular order, but the rules are you have to at least pick 1 from each category. So 1 deluxe, 1 moderate, 1 value, and then you can have a wild card, which will most likely be a deluxe, I would guess, knowing us. But yeah, so that's just the rules. You got to cover all those categories plus 1 extra.
You remember, it's going to be up to you on the social media at Be Our Guest Mike, at Scott. Tag both of us and let us know. You don't have to go into the dissertation like Paul does. We appreciate that, but you don't have to do that. But just give us some thoughts. You know, what did we leave out of the list? What did you agree with? You know, what changes would you make? We love the feedback so that we can kind of just talk about it. And we'll talk to you on it. We'll answer and we'll get into the debate with you on Twitter or Instagram or wherever.
I love the feedback, and I know we're recording ahead of time, so this might have been like a month ago before listening to this, but on our childhood memories, like we got some great feedback on that, and like
absolutely
our good friend from Houston, who I cannot think of his name
Jimmy.
right now. Yeah, Jimmy. I was like, why didn't you guys think of like 50s prime time? Like, and I was like, oh my god, that's such a great one. Like grandma's home cooked meals, you know, like oh man. So it's tough when you're on the spot like we are live. So that's why I love hearing the feedback when you all chime in. It's so good.
That's right. Okay, well, it's time to get to the draft. So Scott is going to have the first pick of the first round. Speaking of ESPN, there we go. The chime hits. You're on the clock.
Which category are we doing first?
Doing resort restrooms.
Restrooms. This is like the one I haven't even thought about. So this is great. So
I haven't thought about any of these. I like to do them cold. It makes me nervous though.
Yeah. So my favorite, I'm going deluxe right off the bat with my number 1 pick, and I'm going with the Grand Floridian restroom that's up by Citrico's and Victoria and Albert's. They're on the 2nd floor. Just like you walk in there, it smells so great. They got this great tile that's laid down. It's always clean. I like the background music because it's kind of like that old time music that's playing in the Grand Floridian. You can hear it well in that restroom. So that's just after you have a nice meal at Citrico's, you walk over there, get your hands clean and clean up and what you got to do. But it's just a great place to be. I love that restroom.
I like what you're doing. You're going deluxe first, taking your first pick out of the deluxe category. And that is a good one. That's a really good one. Grand Floridian. I mean, you're not going to go wrong there with a
right. I mean, there's so many. I mean, I'm not going to try to steer you because you still have picks, but like, that's what's fun about some of these deluxes, man. There could be like 4 or 5 options at one resort that you could go with.
I know you got to we got to pick one out of each category. So you got to at least have a value, a moderate, and a deluxe, and then a wild card. So I'm going to go with my value in the first round because I think I'm going to try to grab the best value while it's out there. And it's the Pop Century restroom there, right next to the arcade. Or I'm in the same spots for the values, but for some reason that one just like it seems like how it's got those bubble lights. It's always clean, and plenty of stalls. It's always clean and well stocked. I don't know, whoever cleans that restroom or takes care of that, that's a good one. So I'm gonna go Pop Century for my value pick, round 1.
That's awesome. Yep, I like that one. I'm going with my wild card because I want to take these while they're hot.
Okay,
early in the draft.
I want you to get that one.
That's my strategy. Man, there's so many great ones at the deluxe resorts, but I love. I'm going to the yacht club actually, or is it the beach? They're both kind of laid out the same. It's a very similar bathroom at both, but it's like right by Yachtsman Steakhouse. There's this great bathroom. Similar explanation to my last one at the Grand Floridian. Always super clean, usually pretty quiet, even though it's next to like a restaurant. So sometimes you'll get some noisy kids in there, but I just love it. And like, they have like the really good paper towel too.
Yeah,
that's what I like about these. Yeah,
that's how you know you're in a deluxe at Disney, right? The paper towels are a little bit thicker,
and sometimes it has like a resort logo on there too. Yeah. Like sometimes I kind of want to take that paper towel home with me as a souvenir. It's like so nice, right? Do you remember? There's a time where they had like the cloth towels in the deluxe resorts.
Yes,
like,
they did. Yeah, that's too long ago either. It was
and I remember. I think that's why I'm picking this one by the Yachtsman. That was the first time I think I ever saw that at a Disney resort, in a restroom. I was like, oh my god, this is like an actual like washcloth I could dry my hands with. You just tossed it in this basket. Then they got away with that, but that's okay. I understand. I'm sure that's expensive cost for like laundry and all that too, but. I love that restaurant by the Yachtsman. You have a nice old fashioned, nice steak. You go out there, really great place to take care of business. TCB.
That's right. And you got 2 solid picks, which I like. But here's the thing: now you've used your 2 deluxes.
So I know. I'm in trouble now.
I got by with the one I was looking to get in the deluxe category because you did not say it. And so here we go. This is my second pick going to the deluxe category. I'm going to hit it because I'm excited about this pick. We're going over to Animal Kingdom Lodge, Kidani Village outside of Sanaa. Ooh. There is a restroom there that has incredible sinks. It's all themed. It's kind of dark in there, but it's super clean and super fancy. I don't know if again, we have no idea what the women's look like. We're just judging by the men's, but they have really funky sinks too. It's like those sinks that, they're not typical sinks. They're like those tub sinks, that kind of like bowls. I'm not a.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's like it sits on top of the counter. It's not like in.
Yeah, and like the water comes down almost like a waterfall, like out of the faucet system.
Yes. It's like a slow, like Angel Inn kind of has a similar
mini waterfall or something. Yeah, which fits Animal Kingdom Lodge, and and those are super sharp too. Like, so that's my pick for my deluxe, and at least my official deluxe is Sanaa Animal Kingdom Lodge, Kidani Village.
That's a great pick. That's a really great pick. You can't go wrong with any of the deluxe restrooms. Is really what it comes down to. They're all so great. So for now, next one, I'm going to knock my moderate out of the way. And it's been a little while since I've used this restroom, so I hope they haven't changed it or moved it at all. But the first time I went to Sebastian's Bistro at Caribbean Beach, I asked like where the restroom was, and it was kind of outside. It's kind of like a joint one with the bar, like the Hannah Cabana bar or whatever. I might have said that backwards. I can't remember what it's called exactly, but it was a great restroom. And I think my memory of it is so great because it was brand new because they just like built that restaurant.
Right.
But it had these nice like blue colors, like it felt like very oceany, very Caribbean, to fit the theme of the resort. I'm always listening, right? So like always the background loop there was so awesome. Yes. You got the steel drum music playing in there. It's just, I love, there was like great artwork in that restaurant, if I recall. And I just love the blue colors. It made me feel like the ocean was in there and it was super clean. So that's my go-to at the moderate resorts.
Ooh, that's a good one. So I'm going my moderate with my third pick too. So God, I'm torn. So both of these I'm thinking of are at Coronado Springs. And I'm trying to decide because one's bigger, but one's a little bit nicer. I'm going to go with, for my third pick at Coronado Springs, the restrooms outside of Maya Grill. Because there's less traffic. There's not that many people the only people that are going to use those restaurants are patrons of Maya Grill. And Maya Grill usually is not that busy. I mean, you fairly rarely see that restaurant full. And it's dark in there, but they're really clean all the time. Plenty of facilities, just, nice. I mean, they're not anything super special. I won't say the other, because you can't take them out. Well, you use your wild card even. So you have to use
No, I've already used my wild card, so you can say it if you want.
Yeah, so the other one I was just thinking of was that one that used to be there right next to check-in before they moved check-in over to the Grand Casino Tower.
Yeah.
Because that one now nobody goes to because nobody even knows it's there. And it's a big one because back in the day when check-in was there, it was really busy. But now it's like abandoned, that whole area right there, that pass through.
That whole area is so weird now.
Yeah.
Side note.
You see Aaron and Phil sometimes like working there with their laptops. It's a great place to get. If you have to work remotely, according to just a tangent, work there or go down to like that ground area tower by Barcelona Lounge, and great places to work.
Two other things for Paul to note, because he's going to be like doing the analysis here. I love the Maya Grill pick. The number one reason is you can hear Smooth Jazz Guy playing his tunes.
Yeah, I was going to say that. You talk about background loop. This is live background loop, baby. All right,
I'll never forget. Remember when it was like a Star Wars weekend? Like I stayed with you. You rented like the truck. We call it the BOGP truck or whatever.
That's crazy.
So we stayed at Coronado, and you went out to go hang out with Dave. I had to wait for like a Magical Express, and I hung out by like that restroom area because it was like the only quiet place I could find in the resort. And it was just so weird. I saw people just going in and out of that bathroom, and I just sat there for like an hour. So that's kind of like another weird memory I have of that restroom. But it's a good one. It's a really good one.
We all have those interesting memories. We're waiting to leave. I have a couple just like that. I just want to go home, but I can't get to the airport yet.
Yeah.
All right, last pick, value for you.
So you took Pop. I'm trying to think, is there another one at Pop that I really like? But I'm just going to switch resorts. I feel like all like the lobby bathrooms at the values are like basically like the same. They're like kind of like, because they're all kind of laid out the same. They're right by like where you drop off your mail, or there's an ATM over there. So they're kind of all the same to me. But I'm going to go with All Star Music, their lobby restroom, because I've used it the most recent. When I stayed there, like a spur of the moment, I stayed with our friend Georgia at All Star Music during Wine and Dine. And I had my luggage waiting for Bell Services. It was kind of close by. While I was waiting for it, I just kind of popped in there, TCB real quick, and it was good. It was what you expect, I think, from a value bathroom. So that's the one I'm going for.
I love it, TCB. No, that's a good one because your value ones, you're right, they're almost all the same. I mean, just Pop Centuries are just bright and colorful. That's probably and clean. That's probably the only thing that distinguishes that. That's kind of a wash. Okay, my last one. I've been having a hard time with my wild card because again, I want to go deluxe, and I am going to go deluxe, but I'm going to go a different way. This one is like your utility man or woman. It's like the one that it comes through in a pinch. It's like a pinch hitter. But I know I'm 12. But here's the thing. It's really accessible when you're passing through, because the one I'm picking for my fourth pick is at the Riviera. And it's that outside restroom near the quiet pool that everybody can have access to. So if you're just walking through there and you're going to Primo Piatto, getting ready to get on the Skyliner from, say, Caribbean Beach, that one it's not the fanciest one because you access it from outside, but man, I have used that restroom many times just when I'm just, passing through over there because it's outside and it's easy to access. You don't have to go into the hotel itself, and it's always clean and nice, but it's not super fancy, but it's utilitarian. So you got to have a utility player.
You just won the draft. You just won.
That's a good little.
I seriously failed this because the pool bathrooms at the deluxes are some of the best because there's showers in them. You can take a shower. I've taken a shower in that restroom.
There is a shower. Yeah, that is a shower bathroom. But that's a good one. Like if you were on the Skyliner, you know what I'm saying? Like, you need to hustle. Like that saves you.
I've used that so many times. I've taken a shower in that restroom. It's so good. Like the Wilderness Lodge pool, like the DVC one is another great one because it has like one of the best like restroom showers of all time. And it wasn't, my mind didn't even go there for some reason. So I applaud you, Mike.
These have been good. And hey, hopefully this saves somebody down the line.
Right.
These are the ones we've given up. So give the list and then we'll go to the next guy. I think we both did a really good team.
We did pretty good. So real quick, I went with the Grand Floridian between Citrico's and Victoria and Albert's. I went with the Yachtsman Steakhouse bathroom at the Yacht Club, Sebastian's Bistro at Caribbean Beach, and I went with the lobby bathroom at the All-Star Music Resort. You went with the Pop Century lobby bathroom, which is a really good pick. Kidani Village, that is a sleeper pick. I love that one. The Kidani Village Sanaa bathroom is really great with that faucet and that open space, too. It's really good in there. Maya Grill for number 3. And your steal, I think this is the absolute steal of the draft. You went with the Riviera pool bathroom, like on your way to the Skyliner or back or from whichever direction you're heading. That is a great pick.
especially with kids, because kids always, you leave the room like nobody has to go to the bathroom. And then, 5 seconds outside the room, gotta go. No, come on, we're not going back to the room. No. So again, let us know, App Scott and BRS Mike on the social media. Category 2 is going to be Walt Disney World Resort lobbies. And I guess I have the first pick of this one, right?
Yeah, you do.
Man, there's 2. Because we got value, deluxe, moderate, and wild card. And I'm going with my deluxe first. And I'm going to take Wilderness Lodge.
Fair. That seems right.
Christmas, but any time of the year. Yeah, I mean, it's just you walk in there, and I mean, I've stayed there probably 4 or 5 times over the years. And every time I walk, even if I'm just going in there to eat at Whispering Canyon or just passing through to go to Geyser Point or something, when you walk through those doors, it doesn't matter how many times you've been there. You're just like, wow, like it's just wow. The whole resort really is. Even when you just walk up to the exterior, God, they nailed it when they built that resort. It's so
they
awesome.
did. Yeah, like the geyser that's in there, the bridge, those rocking chairs, like man,
the fireplace with all the layers of earth.
It's hard to find a better lobby than that. It's so great. So
but there is one that's close. The same. I know you're gonna pick. It doesn't even matter. So it's like
no. I'm actually going strategy here.
Okay, I think it does matter the order you pick, and I think I messed up again because I was all excited.
I don't think so. You took like the clear number 1, not the clear number 1, but that is a good 1 pick. But I'm going with my value first this time. I'm going the opposite that I did with the restrooms.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with Pop Century's lobby as my number 1 pick.
That is a great
because I love the shadow boxes.
Yeah, it doesn't say the nostalgia of that lobby is so strong. It's just
And then you go in there, and I say this all the time. The way I describe Pop Century is just it's fun. Mm-hmm. So you walk in here, you walk in there, you hear Wham, saying "Wake Me Up Before You Go," or Michael Jackson playing. Like you just hear like this great like pop soundtrack when you walk into the lobby. You see all these like young, because it's usually like younger families too, more affordable for them. So you see all these young kids running around. It might be their first visit. They're so excited. They see the Mickey phone, like because there is like a Mickey phone in like a shadow box outside of the big one. And then all those great decades of just like memorabilia. There's some sports memorabilia in there too, like animation. Like it's just a really fun place. You can see like the glittering of like the shop, right?
Yeah,
everything pop sign is kind of glittering, like, and then you got the arcade off to the side. I don't know, man. There's something just is really exciting about like the vacation just starting. And I just want to take a side note here too. Like I know we talked about this before, but what bums me about like talking about these lobbies is like the new way you do like check-in. Like you don't online check-in, you kind of skip the lobby now.
In the interaction with the cast member at the start of your vacation, which I know like it's like when you get there and there's a line, like nobody wants to wait in that line to check in, but I've always just loved like that anticipation of standing there face to face with the check-in cast member and like, okay, like you see him typing and then you see him grab the map. And
the map. I love the map. And then they circle where your room's going to be.
You're just like peeking out and they're like, do you need me to tell you where your room is? I'm like, I've looked because you already circled it.
I still say yes because I love it. I'm like, I've been here 15 times, but can you show it to me?
But I love that. Like, it's so cool. But you're right. It's been kind of taken away with online check-in, which I mean, it's
and I'm guilty of it too. Like, I just like sometimes like you've been with me. Like when I get my text, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to just go to my room and drop my luggage off. But like, it just takes away from that experience. And I still encourage everyone, man, talk to those cast members, get the map, like go into the lobby because that's really like how a vacation starts for me, just going through the lobby. So. But yeah, and that's
people like all checking in together. Like that gets me amped up when I see other people's suitcases getting checked in. Like I'm like, yeah, everybody's getting ready to have a good vacation. Let's go. Kind of.
Yeah. So, and I think Pop Century does a great job of that with the background music, all the memorabilia. Such a great lobby.
And what I love to see too, and then we'll move on because we got all these in. But I like see like grandparents showing their grandkids like, hey, this is what a record looks like a 33 looks like, or this is what an 8-track looks like. I mean, because honestly, God, I mean, we're in 2023. Some of the stuff that you think kids know about, like Mallory doesn't know what a record is. I mean, she knows, but she doesn't really know. Like I guarantee she's never seen one, like played, or listened to one. So she's like, yeah, Dad. It's like that meme, right? Where they always show the grandma like with the walker. Sure, Grandma. Yeah. Because always like Cardinals used to be a good team. Sure, Grandma. Let's get you to bed. Anyway. So I'm glad you picked that though, because with my second pick, I'm taking my wild card.
Okay. So you're going to a deluxe again.
And I'm going with Animal Kingdom Lodge is the
Okay.
lobby because it's the sister resort to Wilderness Lodge. Same architect, same wow factor. You walk in, but this one has beyond, like, this one might have been better than Wilderness Lodge in a way. I almost took it because when you go in, you see the rooms kind of around, just like at Wilderness Lodge, you know, the interior facing rooms, but you have that big window and that big like staircase and bridge toward the back of the Animal Kingdom Lodge lobby. And here's the other sneaker, the smell, because you have the smells from like Boma.
The Boma smell is so good.
But there's also like a fireplace around there. So you kind of have like a fireplace smell, which I love that smell. And you got like the Victoria Falls, the bar there. And there's almost like an ambient sound of like the bar, right? Like you'll occasionally hear people like laughing and people like clinking glasses, and it just sounds like there's a bunch of distinct sounds if you listen in there. And it's got great places to sit, couches, like I said, the fireplace is there, the bridge, and it's just gorgeous. I mean, it's overwhelming. So yeah, I'm taking that wild card. So not only got moderates and values, but there's my two top.
Yeah, that's a great one. Two thoughts, like maybe three, but yeah, you're right. I mean, just the smell alone, I think, like wins that lobby over. Like I always say to Elizabeth, like when we first walk in, like, oh, how I miss this smell, because it's so good. It's so distinct to Animal Kingdom Lodge. And then second is like when you stay there at a Run Disney race, in particular, you're talking about Jumbo House, not Kidani.
Yeah, Jumbo. We're going Jumbo this time.
Yeah. Like when you're staying at Jumbo for a Run Disney race, like you have to kind of go through the lobby basically to get to the buses. It is so weird walking through that lobby, like empty. And like,
it is
quiet.
It is.
It's so weird.
Right. When if you go through there like off hours, it's almost like haunted because
it is
because it feels so alive most of the time with the smells, the sounds, the people moving around. And you're right. If you go through there at 2:30 in the morning, you're just like,
But I got to comment on an interesting strategy. It's like you just drafted two quarterbacks. You went Joe Montana and Steve Young on your team.
Dude, you know what? I mean,
one of them's not going to get playing time, I feel like.
We had Trent Green that one year, blew out his knee in the last preseason game, and then we got Kurt Warner. So you never know.
Okay, so you got your backup QB.
Animal Kingdom Lodge could be by Kurt Warner. There you go.
There you go. Well, you can't take this one now, so I'm not even going to go that route. I'm going to go with my.
Thing is, like with these rules, you kind of are like, okay, good, I'm safe. That's when you picked. That's when you made that pick. I was like, okay, cool, I'm safe.
Yeah. I'm going to go with my moderates. I didn't even think I was going to go this route, but I'm going to go this route, and I'm going to go with Grand Destino Tower as my lobby for the moderate.
That's what I was going to take.
It's so. But it's so big. Like, I mean, it's just so new, right? And it's just so cool. Like, it's always loud. So I do have some beefs with this lobby. It seems like it's always crowded. It is. And it's loud in there. I don't know why, because I think it's just so open, you know, because there's a lot of levels to that lobby. So it's kind of similar to the Riviera, really. So it's really loud in there. But I just love how robust it is. There's great cast members around there, like that entry up, like you got that little waterfall, you know, like because I'm kind of considering that the lobby in a way, like it's kind of telling the story, you know, as you're walking in. And I don't know, man, I just love like the size and the scope of that thing. It's just a gorgeous lobby, best one out of the moderates in my opinion.
I mean, because that's obviously so new compared to the other ones, but yeah, it's more grand. I mean, it's not the Grand Destino Tower, but it is a grand area with the big window, the two levels. You can look down into Barcelona Lounge.
But I tell you, you talked about the old lobby there, and I missed that one, but now it's like a nice little workspace, right? But like, I do miss the old lobby of Coronado a little bit too. But
yeah, but that one, I mean, this one whoops it. But you're right. That was a nice little, because it had a hidden Mickey, and it's still there. Actually.
It's still there, yeah.
Light hidden Mickey, if you don't know. In that pass through. Okay.
And then you got those awesome elevators at the end of the lobby too. That I know Mallory loves those elevators.
That's why we stayed there before the cruise, because she's like, we gotta stay in the tower because I want to ride the elevators that don't have buttons. I'm like, oh, I get in the elevator and I forget that I already told them where I'm going. It's weird because you go to push it and they're not there. If you never stayed in the tower, check it out. It's pretty wild. All right, I'm going with my value for my third pick, and I'm taking the sister resort to Pop Century. It's Art of Animation. I like this one because it is super colorful when you walk in. I mean, if you look on the side where I forget what their store is called, Landscape of Flavors is the restaurant, whatever the store is, it's the equivalent of everything pop. But along that wall there between the store and where you go out into the main part of the resort, it's got animation cells that are like, it almost looks like what you get on Animator's Palette on the Disney Cruise Line, where they're, you know, colorful, but they're like sketches. And then when you go look down the check-in desks, it's just like a rainbow of like different colors, and it really pops when you take a
It does.
picture and then you do like some kind of photo editing, because I mean those colors will just bam. And a little bonus for this one, at Christmas they put up a white Christmas tree over there, and I love like white 60s looking Christmas trees. I love that Christmas tree there. I mean, I like everybody else's, but that one's a really cool one to me. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm going, art of
No,
animation.
no, that's good. I think that wall you're talking about too is kind of like, because you talked about it, like on the cruise, and I think it goes like from kind of like gray and then gradually like gets colorful as you walk down that wall. Like I love that, and like that little rainbow color thing is just so pretty to look at. So I like the way it pops.
Yeah, they did a good job with that one.
Yeah,
I really,
I guess I could have used that as my restroom too. I got to be honest, I kind of forgot about art and animation. I mean, of course, the travel agent doesn't forget about it. So,
well, no, I was just trying to think between pop and, because I
Yeah.
I like pop because it's got more nostalgia. Like it's more interactive. Art of animations is like, I think it pops more colorfully. Like as far as like visuals, it's got a little bit more on the visual side. But Pop Century's got the whole package because you can really make connections with video games and stuff like records, stuff like computers. Okay, so your last pick of this.
this is my third actually.
Oh, third. Oh yeah, because I went first. Yeah.
Yeah. So all I have left is a wild card and a deluxe. So I'm gonna go. I'll call this my wild card just for fun. But I'm gonna go with the Polynesian as my next pick.
That is a good pick.
So I know there's been like some controversy over the years, right, with some changes to that lobby, but like I just think it's so solid, and there's a great smell still to this lobby. I think like you're talking about the Animal Kingdom Lodge, Jamba House, and its smell. Feel the same thing when I walk into the Polynesian. And I'm not trying to call this as cheating, but I was talking about the Grand Destino, like the setup to that. Like I love the walkway as you're approaching. Like you got some waterfalls happening as you walk up to the lobby. The doors open automatically. You see the awesome statue. You like see people wearing leis. People are getting excited for the vacation.
Getaway when you check in. Yeah. I mean, how cool is that?
It's so cool. And just like that smell, it's just so grand to me. And there's like an awesome hidden Mickey like on the ground too. If you look for it closely, you'll see this pretty awesome hidden Mickey on the ground. And that gift shop to the left is like one of my all-time favorite gift shops. So just an awesome overall lobby. Like it just spells out vacation to me. Like I'm going to have a lot of fun on this stay here at the Polynesian.
I will add to that too. So as you're approaching the lobby, like coming in from the parking lot, you have the torches, so you even have like fire, like almost like tiki torches. You got those little lagoons on either side of the walkway. And again, like kind of an Animal Kingdom Lodge lobby setup situation in Grand Destino. Like even when you're on that lower level, you see around that ring at the top level, you see people like going to Kona. You see people waiting to go to Ohana. You see people going to the gift shop upstairs. And I like to see that. It gives it energy. It gets me excited for my vacation because you see, people dressed up in their matching shirts or like Hawaiian wear, like girls in Hawaiian dresses. Like it fits the theme and it just gives an energy to that place.
I love that. I love that surfboard. Like, I think it's like a surfboard that tells you like go to Ohana like this way up the stairs or something. Like I can't 100% remember it. I'm actually looking at a poster of the Polynesian, which is kind of funny in my office here. But yeah, just everything about that, and it just like I just love that culture, and I think they hit a home run with that lobby for sure.
That was a good pick. Good pick. Okay, so I only have a moderate left in mind, so I picked my value, my wild card deluxe. So I'm going with Disney's Port Orleans French Quarter for my moderate, because that one, if you come into the resort at nighttime, especially, now this is not just the lobby, but it's the arrival. It's that porte cochere or whatever they call it. I'm not trying to be fancy, but the like little covered area when you drive in. It's got all that wrought iron and it's got those white bulb lights. And then you walk through those doors. And I'll tell you what, French Quarter typically will have a greeter. The greeter adds a lot. They give out little doubloons. They give out beads sometimes. They're really happy. A lot of the resorts have greeters, but they really do at French Quarter a lot. And when you go in there, there's a fountain right there where you can take your doubloon and throw it in the fountain. You got all the wrought iron. And then you can look straight ahead and see the palm trees as you look through there. It's not a big lobby because you got to go off to the right to do your check-in. But there's something about that lobby. It's small, but it really is like it. I've never been to New Orleans, but it gives me in that jazz feel. I like the way it looks, even though it's a tiny one. It's not big.
It's not big at all. But you got like beignets off to the side there too, which is a huge win for me too. But I love. Out of those options, remember, we're kind of limited when we talk about moderates and values in a way. So the options are not there, but I think that's a great pick though at French Quarter. I love what you were talking about, like coming through at night too. Like that sets the tone so differently.
Right. I agree. It's way better at night. All right, you get to close out this category.
Man, I've gone back and forth on like 2 or 3. And I think I'm going to kind of go with possibly a controversy one because I just want to get people talking and thinking about it, you know? So I'm going to go with Polynesian was my wild card. So for my deluxe, I'm going to go with the Contemporary Resort lobby.
That's a good one. I was close on not taking Animal Kingdom Lodge and going with that one actually, but you took it.
So it's been redone, right? So
it's better.
And I love it's better, but it's still like it's kind of weird still, but like because they have like some furniture out there that I don't think anyone is ever really going to sit in because it's like really small, like odd kind of furniture, like these chairs and tables.
But that's how it was like in the mid-century. All that stuff was it looked more like decorative than like comfortable. That's exactly. But I mean, they nailed the aesthetic.
But it's the artwork for me. I love the artwork there. You got that great Mary Blair photo that's there, and you know her fingerprint is all over that resort. So I love that little honor to her in the lobby, and like it's just so inviting. Like the cast members are just like there, like at those desks, then they're just like waiting to wait on you. You know, I think it's really good, and like you got that little coffee shop. A restroom that I almost put on my list. I love that restroom right off the. I almost said the Wave.
The one by
Steakhouse 71.
Steakhouse 71. Yep, I got it.
Yep. It's just weird. It's just weird because like you know what's above you. Like that's where like the grandness is, right? You got the concourse where you see the monorail, the shops, all the dining. Like you don't really see that, but it's kind of cool because you walk in there and not thinking like there's a monorail that's running through me right now, like on this floor. So I think it's a cool lobby. I think they did a good job with the redo. Not necessarily everyone's favorite, but I think it's important to put it on the draft here.
I love it since the redo, and you got a steal on your fourth pick, last pick of the draft here with that one. Lobby irrelevant was.
I almost went Boardwalk, but I thought the creepy chairs were going to hurt me on Boardwalk, so that's why I stayed away from it.
Does that make it awesome? I don't know.
I know I don't know what Paul thinks.
I know we're all trying to get in Paul's head here. He's already giving us some instant feedback in the live chat.
So the quick recap here for our lobbies. Remember, we have to do a deluxe, a moderate, a value, and then we get a wild card. Mike kicked it off, taking 2 quarterbacks. He went with the Wilderness Lodge and the Animal Kingdom Lodge, Art of Animation, and French Quarter over there at Port Orleans. I went with Pop Century, Grand Destino, Polynesian, and wrapped it up with the Contemporary.
There you go. All right, last one. This one might have to go a little bit quicker because we're getting a little bit deep into the show. We're going with best overall landscaping at Walt Disney World Resorts and hashtag Scotty G with the first pick.
Landscaping. This is purely out of strategy again with that first pick. You got to like be smart how you do these picks with the criteria we have. So I'm going to Art of Animation as my number 1 pick for landscaping. I will say like, not a knock, but you can tell a difference between a deluxe landscaping and a value landscaping pretty easily. Like, I just don't think like they're just as maintained as well, but I will say like, I love the palm trees, you know, that's shaped around, the Art of Animation. I've done so many walkthroughs of taking photos like by the pools with that. And like the grass is nice, but I mean, there's not a whole lot of great flowers at this resort for me or like other like landscaping things, but I think they do a pretty good job and the palm trees really do it for me. So I'm going with Art of Animation as my
What tells me on Art of Animation too is if you go down to the Little Mermaid section, some of the plants, you got to look closely, but this is true. Some of the plants are like slanted. Like they've made them grow slanted because it's supposed to give the illusion of like a current.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And so the plants are like, because they have little, like fish figures like in the landscaping too. And so some of the little plants, if you look at them, at least they were last time I was there, they're like all kind of slanted the same way, almost as though a current was passing over these planters. It's so I mean, who thinks of that?
That's a great tidbit. Like that's the thing. I haven't really stayed there enough or walked through there a lot to like speak to it, but I wanted to steal it because I thought that might have been what you were going to pick for your value. So
I'm worried there though, because you said you're going to go for something. So I'm going to take with my first pick. I got to hit this one more time. So let's love the sound. We're going moderate category. We're going Disney's Port Orleans Riverside.
That was going to be mine. Yes.
I thought you were taking it first round for sure. Yeah. I mean, there's not a lot to say. It's just really, really gorgeous. I mean, the mansions are just so beautifully manicured all the time. The grass always looks great, except for the section where they do the movie Under the Stars. That always looks like a spot where the kid played catch with his dad every night. Other than that, though, it's just beautiful, along the walking paths. And then you get into Alligator Bayou, the other half of the resort.
Mm.
it's beautiful landscaped in a different way because it's rustic. It's almost left to its own devices. You got the Spanish moss hanging from the
Spanish
tree.
moss is so
Love
good.
Spanish moss, but it's just in the two buildings, the white pops on the mansions, and you got kind of the earthy tones of the Alligator Bayou buildings, and you got the big water. I mean, I know it's not landscaping, but the water wheel kind of adds a little ambiance to the whole feel of the place when it's working. It was getting refurbed last time I was there, but yeah, I love Riverside and the Sesquila River, obviously, especially before a boat goes down in the morning when it's still glass, just a mirror on top. Love it.
When I was gonna take that pick that you stole from me, I was gonna mention the Sasagula with like is the perfect backdrop for that landscaping. Like it just makes everything pop. Like the grass looks so much nicer with the river like in the background. It's a gorgeous resort. And like how you have the mansions and like the Alligator Bayou. It's just like it just balances so well together.
Juxtaposition, one's rustic and out in the country, one's stately, but it works. It works
It's
great.
good. That's a great
All
pick, Mike.
Second pick.
I just love walking around this resort and just looking at the lushness of the green and the palm trees and everything. So I'm going with the Grand Floridian as my next pick. I know this isn't landscaping, but I love that little fountain that's out there too. Like when you like walk through the lobby and start going to the back of the resort, but like it's so green. Like Mike, you and I love taking photos and putting them up through Google Photos and getting those color pops.
Yeah, especially if you have water. If you have water in your pictures, Google Photos will grab them and do stuff with them.
Or a nice blue sky too. I love that.
Right. Yeah.
But there's something about like the Grand Floridian, like everything just pops. Like that turf is so nice. Like, and they have like all these long games that are usually out there too. Like, no, that's not necessarily landscaping, but just the overall scope of that resort, the green grass, the trees, it's just really well maintained, like the flowers and everything. I just think that's a gorgeous looking resort once you're out on the grounds.
And it pops too because the buildings are just that pure white with the red roofs, and then you got just the greenest grass. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just the colors are just vivid around that resort.
And we're staying there right now. So let's have a contest. Who can take the best photo?
I'll be taking a lot of photos of the Grand. It's probably my only time there. So we're going to take advantage. Okay. Not that I don't want to go back. I just probably end up back at Pop Century, which is nothing wrong with that. Okay. So my next pick is going to be next door to the Grand Floridian, Disney's Polynesian Village Resort. It's just got, again, we're back to the tiki torches when you walk the grounds, especially at night. You got that. They have those like lava rocks strategically placed, those kind of black, almost like pumicey rocks. They're awesome. And again, lots of greenery, palm trees. And you can almost like just stroll just around the paths there and just enjoy the ambiance of the place. And I love that the buildings themselves, those earthy tones, the oranges, the browns, just gorgeous. I just love the landscape. Look at the Poly.
Not much more I can add. I'm going to stick on the Magic Kingdom resorts, not necessarily the monorail, but I'm going with the Wilderness Lodge as my next one. That's going to be my wild card. Lots of similar things that you just said too, but like when you go back and like to the cabins, like I just love like the trees and like how the grass is manicured and things like that. And like, I don't want to call that fountain and rockford necessarily landscaping, but I think it could count. And you got that just gorgeous waterfall. I remember one time Steve Forster asked us like, "Hey, you guys got a video of that waterfall I can use for the site?" And I was stunned that I didn't even have any video of that waterfall. And now every time I'm there, I take like a 30-second video.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. But it's so good. And even at night, like when the sun is kind of hidden, like setting on it, oh man, it's so pretty. But just something about walking through those grounds. You got Geyser Point out there. There's a nice little walkway right there with some great landscaping. Just very well done at Wilderness Lodge.
That's a good pick.
Thanks, man.
Geyser Point right now because Geyser Point just lets you kind of take it all in while you're having a good meal at the same time.
Is there a better spot?
So good. Geyser Point is in the best spot. All right, for my third pick, I'm going to go wild card, and I'm going to stay on the monorail, and I'm going to go with the Contemporary. Now, people are going to say, Contemporary, Mike, you have the road right there leading up to the resort. But I think a lot of folks that haven't stayed there or spent time there, if you go to the backside of the Contemporary that faces Bay Lake, it's beautiful back there. And also back by the garden wings, there's a lot of, really freshly cut grass, manicured grass. And it's just, there's that metal sculpture of Mickey that you can get your picture taken with. It's a great family picture spot. And there's something about it because you got the big, very natural Bay Lake behind you. You have a couple swimming pools back there. It's kind of, it is like a contemporary look to, background and landscaping.
Yeah, I like the way you started that because I think everyone thinks about the front
Yeah, I'm
of the
thinking of the back.
contemporary, but the back is so great. And I know there's like a lot of concrete with those bricks, but once you like get really around those wings, like you were saying, or even to like the DVC portion, lots of great trees and landscaping. I think that's a great pick.
You
So,
always rave about the running path too. That
oh, the running path is like one of my favorites. I mean, the jogger Mickey guy, like giving you direction doesn't hurt, but yeah, it's a really great path. And you run along Bay Lake. Oh man, it's so good. Sunrise too.
Run there. So yeah, that's awesome. Okay, go with this is your fourth pick, last
Yep.
pick.
I got to do a moderate. And like now that I've been thinking about it, and I loved your Port Orleans Riverside, but this is a really good challenge for this one. I'm going Coronado Springs.
That's a good
And let me
one.
tell you why. Like, because
Yeah.
there's so many different themes of those
That's
outer buildings.
Why you have totally different feels in 4 different parts of that resort.
Yep. Like the ranchos is just a completely different landscape to the casitas or the cabanas. And you and I have both done many, many miles around this resort, like running and walking. So many. And I love the new bridges too that connect the 3 bridges. It's really nice. But I've taken so many great like landscape photos of like the flowers. I remember the shot of like the tower I have with like these like purple flowers like up front that are just like really popping. Like there's different types of flowers and bushes along the resort, and you got those different types of trees because the ranchos is different from another section. It's well done, and like it's like you're almost thinking like 4 resorts in one almost with the way that landscaping is. So I got to go with Coronado for my final pick.
Yeah, Pam and I kind of talked about that a couple of weeks back on a show. That like, I mean, we're talking about like places to request rooms within certain resorts. I mean, you just get a different feel if you're in the ranchos from Grand Destino Tower, from the casitas, or for the cabanas. It's more tropical. I mean, it's really a state of mind thing. It kind of separates your stays. You stay there a lot. Okay, my last pick of this entire show is going to be. So I have to pick a value. Right.
Yes. Yep. You got about value left.
Value. So I'm going all-star music for my value. And I just love, again, all-star music is going to have places like the Jazz Inn, you know, where you got the big, I know these are decorations, but the grounds, because really the values, they're kind of all landscape, almost exactly the same, but you got, you know, some flowers and planters around. And I just like the look of the landscaping around all-star music. There's not a lot to say about it.
I agree, but still a great pick. And you had to pick a value. So there you go.
I'm going. All right. Recap. And then we're going to get out of here.
Yep, so the recap. So I went first this time. I went with Art of Animation, Grand Floridian, Wilderness Lodge, and Coronado Springs. Pretty solid, I must say. But yours isn't too bad itself. We got Port Orleans Riverside, Polynesian, Contemporary, and All-Star Music. Now it comes to the listeners, right? Who won the draft?
That's right. So let us know at Epscott, at Be Our Guest Mike, Twitter especially, because we'll get right back to you. We'll have the conversations. We just want to know. We'll share it on a future show. But, you know, and again, hopefully you play these games with your family as you're riding around in the car, maybe going on a road trip, traveling, and you can obviously make up your own categories, but feel free to use these. Just here's the trick. Don't tell the rest of your family and use these categories. And you've got some good starters, you know, like, oh, that one sounds like a good pick, you know, and then you're in the catbird seat. So thanks, Scott. We're going to do another show here for Friday that is kind of similar to this, but it's different. But I think if you like if you like the drafts, I think you'll like the show because it just overall leads to a conversation about Walt Disney World, but in a different way. But of course, we're going to kind of tie it to sports. So
always
stay tuned for that. All right, we're going to get out of here. Thanks so much for hanging with us. Don't forget today's show and all shows are brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. Drop by the website, themagicforless.com. We'd love to help you plan that next magical Disney vacation. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. That supports the show throughout the year. And don't forget our patrons. You guys make all these shows possible. Thank you very much for that. You can join us over at patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. And you'll get a bonus show every week. It's called Mike in the Midwest. Again, follow Scott on the social media at @EpScott. We got lots of photos from the cruise, from staying at Grand Floridian. I was also at Coronado Springs for a little bit. We're all around the theme parks and Disney Springs and probably played mini golf. All kinds of fun on our feeds there over at Instagram. So check those out. And we will probably have a live show this Sunday night because we've missed you guys and you can give us a call. We can talk on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central Sunday night. So join us as we take the calls then. All right. So we're going to get out of here and we'll be right back again in about 48 hours on Friday with another fun show. So please come back for that and spread the word about the podcast so more folks can find us. We appreciate that. And always don't forget to subscribe to the show wherever you listen to it. That subscribe button actually does really, really help us out. Don't just download shows here and there. Just hit the subscribe button. You never have to worry about getting the next show. It just shows up on your phone or wherever you listen. and that really supports the podcast. All right, we're going to jump out of here. So for Scott, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Wednesday. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. Thank you guys for the feedback.
Yeah,
guys,
lots of great feedback.
I think you're going to like the next show. So if you're not going anywhere, hang out because we're going to
hang out.
The next one will not be this long. That one got a little bit.
We did get long.
2, 3.
Well, we talked about ESPN for like 6 minutes at the start of it
Yeah,
too.
but that was awesome though. I love that.
So did my audio go back? Because Alfred said something that was like choppy or something. Okay.
No, but I can hear myself coming back. I think through your headphones, maybe just a little bit.
Oh, that's weird. Okay. I don't know how that's possible though. Like the
check. Now I don't hear it now.
Okay.
Yeah,
weird.
now I don't hear it.
Okay.
I was hearing it just towards the end of the show.
Okay. Well, hope that didn't throw you off. That was a fun episode.
That was fun.
I mean, I felt like we had to have the variety.
Oh yeah, no, you adding that made it so much more fun because you really had to think. Because I was like, because when you
would have just gone deluxe on every single one.
I got two back-to-back deluxe lobbies.
The restrooms, like I felt like I needed more time to think about that one. I was not prepared, but that makes it fun though.
We were on equal ground because the Riviera. Because I haven't been, the one I was going to pick was the Polynesia one that's up by Captain Cook's. That's like a utilitarian. There's also one right across from Ohana, but that one's really small.
Yeah, I don't like that one at all.
Not either, but it's
because like you share it with Kona too. Like it gets busy in there.
It's busy. Hang on.
If we did like a worse resort bathroom, maybe I'd pick that one. That could be a good one.
That's what we're gonna do. Totally. Hang on. We've gotten all kinds of ideas here, like in the chat. We got to write these down. Like Kevin's got best food. Oh, best food courts. That's a good one. Or best, because they don't have food courts, but yeah. Yeah, I'm not getting any audio problems here for the recording, so we're going to go with it right now.
Appreciate the feedback.
We do.
I think people like these drafts, though, man. We were getting lots of love.
I think they do. Yeah, this is fun. I love them. I like it.
This one's going to be pretty darn similar, though.
Yep, this one will be similar, but not really. I mean, because we're not making a list. All right, let's just go with
your opponent is making a list for you.
Yes, and we both got to pick, and then just go on to the next thing. This one doesn't have a right or wrong answer at all.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Okay, this one can be shorter. Okay, here we go.
Sorry, I know I get talking.
No, that was me because I just kept going too.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Sun's still out, though. It's sun's still out, 9:15.
It's still light. It is still light here, but you're an hour ahead of me. Okay, here we go. Nope. 41. Here we go. Welcome to episode 2319 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com. And of course, one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. Thanks for coming on back after our live draft we did on Wednesday. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Thanks for the feedback on the social media. We get a huge kick out of that. And if you haven't had a chance to let us know who won each round, that's simple, or what we left out. Like, I know we probably had some glaring omissions. Let us know at Epscott, at Be Our Guest Mike. Tag both of us. We can get into the loop and we can have the conversation with you. But we're back here on a Friday, kicking off the weekend as we do each and every Friday with some fun Disney talk. So joining me, it's my sidekick. I go everywhere at Disney with him. We got Scott, Scotty G. What's up, Scott?
Hey, Mike. Love doing that draft episode, but I'm excited for another fun episode to record with you today. And I think the listeners are going to like this one.
Yes, actually, this was from a listener question show about 3 weeks ago. And I can't remember the listener, so I apologize for that, but I will give you the credit here once I dig that out. I just didn't have a chance here as we're recording the shows today. But they sent in a question, and it was a very simple question. It said, in the vein of fantasy football, you have to take these three things at Walt Disney World. And they gave me three things that I had to start, I had to bench, and I had to trade one. So obviously, if you're not a sports ball kind of person, which you don't need to be on today's show, you're going to see this kind of just falls into simple categories. Your starter would be your number one pick. Like, this is going to be your thing that you really, really like. The one that you bench is your middle of the road. You keep them on the team, but they're not starting. And then your trade, you're just like, I've got time for you. Get out of here. Which we're going to try to give each other three things to make it difficult to decide these three positions, because the one I got, Scott, and I'll give this one to you as like a warm-up. We'll have a little warm-up show here to get you
a little warm-up. I'm all right. I like it.
What I had in my three things by this listener a couple of weeks back, They gave me Polite Pig, Olivia's, and I guess Olivia's was any meal. Maybe it was breakfast. So I think it said Olivia's. It's been a couple weeks and I've been on a cruise, so I don't know. And then they gave me specifically Ohana at breakfast. Okay, so not dinner, but Ohana breakfast. So you had to start one, bench one, trade one. So what would you do with that situation? And then we can get rocking.
That's an awful situation.
I know it's really hard.
I'm actually going to trade Olivia's. Is the one I'm trading. God, I hate to say that, but like all those other options are great. And I'm gonna start Polite Pig because breakfast isn't my favorite meal, but I love Boma breakfast, so I'm gonna put that on the bench. I'm on my Boma breakfast on the bench, but I'm gonna start Polite
Boma
Pig.
breakfast wasn't an option. I
thought you said it was Boma breakfast.
No, we got Polite Pig, Olivia's, and it was Ohana breakfast.
It was Ohana breakfast.
Where did Boma come from? All of a sudden,
I must have been thinking Boma. I was so excited for the thought of Boma.
Maybe I said Boma. I don't know.
Honestly, I start over then. Ohana breakfast is the one I'm trading. Okay, and then I'm gonna start Polite Pig, and Olivia's is on the bench.
See, I think that's what Pam did too. I think that was hers, and I traded actually Polite Pig. I kept. I benched Ohana breakfast, and of course I started Olivia's.
Now that you enjoy bourbon and old fashions, I think you might change your mind with Polite Pig because they have one of the best old bourbon bars. So you might change your mind.
So that's what we're doing today. So you don't have to know. I promise. I know the last 2 weeks, the last two shows, you're like, Mike and Scott, shut up about the sports. It's a Disney podcast. It was all about Disney on Wednesday. I promise you. It was just under a skin of sports because this is just us hanging out. Like, if you want to know what our vacation was like for the last 10 days, this is it. This is what we do at the Grand Floridian and, having something out of Gasparilla's, having a Mickey bar or something. This is what we do. So here we are. Sit in with us today and have fun. All right. So I'll let you go first. So pick 3 things and then I will start, sit, and trade those things.
All right. So there's a theme to this. The theme is Magic Kingdom attractions. So you have to start, bench, and trade between Haunted Mansion, Jungle Cruise, and Peter Pan's Flight.
Haunted Mansion, Jungle Cruise, Peter Pan's Flight. I'm going to. Oh man, see, I
know it's tough, right?
I'm to say something, you're like, I'm gonna get hated if I say this. And I was like, oh, I can't say it because this is just an activity. I am not.
I know that we're not actually trading this attraction.
Yeah, seriously, don't give us hate mail. We're doing an exercise here, and it's not.
Send the hate mail to the listener that suggested
I feel like all of a sudden, like I'm getting hives, like I'm getting dangerous if I say something. But I am trading Peter Pan's Flight. That's why. I know. Here's the reason, though, real quick. I mean, we're not going to get because we can't do this, or else the show will be an hour long. But the thing is, Peter Pan's Flight, it's a 3-minute attraction and typically an hour wait. You don't get a big ROI.
I don't even think it's 3 minutes. It's like 90 seconds.
It's over in a blink of an eye. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you don't get ROI on that attraction at all. But you do because it's a really great, like 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes. But dang, you have to wait forever on that one. Okay, so that's my trade. I'm going to start Haunted Mansion. And I'm going to have on the bench because it's just a solid attraction, Jungle Cruise. It's right there in the middle. So that's what I'm going with. What about you?
All right. So Haunted Mansion is my starter. I'm definitely starting Haunted Mansion. I mean, enough said. It's just such a great classic. But I'm going opposite with you. Just for fun. I was going to go this way anyway. And my wife is going to kill me. She doesn't listen to the podcast. So thank God. But I'm going to trade Jungle Cruise. It's just, there's so much real estate there. Like I would love to trade and have something new come in because I still have, this is kind of cheating, but I still have Jungle Cruise out at Disneyland in this case. So if I ever want to get my Jungle Cruise fix, I can go out there. And I'm keeping Peter Pan's Flight because I just love the technology of that. It's such an old classic. I love the idea of flying. Like I think it's just a cool attraction, but I agree that I wish it was like another minute longer. You wait so darn long for that sort of an experience, but I'm going to bench Peter Pan in this case.
It got better though with the addition. Like if you have to stand in the standby queue, going through the bedroom with all the that made it a lot more tolerable than just hot switchbacks.
I agree. And it's fun. Like I know you haven't done one of those after party, like events those hard ticketed ones, but my gosh, you still wait like 45 minutes in that thing, but it's a little more tolerable because it's 45, not 90. And yeah, I love like the bedroom scene in there. It's so awesome.
That is the thing about Peter Pan though. I mean, minimum 45 minutes. I mean, unless you're there in the first 5 minutes of the day. You're
Yeah.
that's like table stakes, 45
Yeah.
minutes.
Or that's where Genie Plus really comes in handy if you can get Peter Pan
Yeah.
for
And
sure.
sometimes it even, you got to wait 10 or 15 with that because
Yeah.
it's a slow. Okay. So here's mine. I'm going to go with Epcot Films.
Okay.
So I'm going to go China, Canada. See, I already know the one you're going to pick. China,
Oh,
Canada,
yeah.
Impressions de France. So go ahead and start Impressions de France and then go from there.
I mean, you can give me every attraction at Walt Disney World, and Impressions de France is the one that I'm starting. Like, it is my all-time favorite.
I wanted to do this, but I'm like, it's dumb because I know what he's doing.
But I mean, I don't know what more I could say. The music, the theater that you actually get to sit down to enjoy a nice 18-minute show of all these great sights of France. It's recorded in the 80s.
Yeah.
And I think it still holds up pretty well. I mean, there's some scenes where you kind of laugh at some of the clothing and that, but like this one makes it so
like
great.
watching the Love Boat, right? I mean,
Yes.
it's like, it's like you like it for the nostalgia, but you're right. The music and the scenery is gorgeous,
and you hear that music, Mike, anywhere. So like maybe a couple months ago, I was at Mackinac Island over Memorial Day weekend with Marlessa and my family, and we're at this nice restaurant. There's a piano player, and they're just like playing this nice soft melody. And then I look at everybody like, that's Impressions de France. And everyone's like, oh my God, it is. Like, I swear you hear that music everywhere. Like, or it just follows me maybe because I'm such a fan. But
like there's Epcot. Just switch it up.
Yeah, like if you want a good tip, just start playing that on a piano and I'll throw a 20 in your jar. Yeah. But yeah, hands down, that's like my favorite attraction. So that's the starter. Oh man, this is tough between China and Canada. I really liked both of these films. Epcot films, by the way, are just great. I love
they
films.
are.
I miss Norway's film a lot.
I do. The Spirit of Norway.
It's not people.
I missed that show. Oh,
it was so good.
I'm so bad. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's on YouTube. You might still be able to like watch it, but it's not the same experience as sitting in that theater.
Little orange chairs. Yeah.
But I'm actually gonna go and trade Canada. I mean, I like the show. It's newer. It's the newest one, and I like the update that they made to it. But I've listened to that China film so many times from like on their old radio station that you had, and like I just love it. Like I can picture every scene when I'm like listening to it on a run or whatever, and it's just so many great memories. It's a great film, and just like the music in that too, and the narration is so great. I love that guy that's like doing the narration through the whole thing. It's so great. So I'm gonna bench China in this case.
Those are actually my same three picks of starting Impressions de France, benching China, trading Canada. Now here's the thing. Canada is actually easier for me to trade now than it would have been prior to the last update. I like the entertainers that do the narration for the new China or Canada film, but I think the script is just like flat. It seemed like the one, and again, I'm a very nostalgic person. So the other one with what's the comedian's name that was in with Steve
Martin Short?
Martin Short. So what's that, Murders in the Building or something like that?
Yeah, that's a great show.
I've never seen the show, but I've heard
it's fantastic.
Yeah, but I think that version of the film was just cute, but it also had like that Impressions de France, like time period 80s feel, like you saw the old hounds and stuff like that. The new one's fine, but it doesn't do as much for me as the old one. In China, there's something about that, like when just like the narrator being in the film and like you're following his path, like at the very end, he's like, what does he say? Something like with a something, I am gone, and it's like, we're getting ready to leave,
the wave of the hand and I am gone.
Yeah. And it's like, oh man, it kind of makes me sad. But like, and then like when they give the scene with like the Yangtze River, and then you're out there, it's almost like a little soaring because you're kind of like swaying a little bit. That's a great film.
It's a great film. And they've talked about like for a few years now. I think it was like a D23 in 2017 or something.
Yeah.
And I kind of don't want it to go away. Like
I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't either. Okay, I like this. All right, so go ahead. We picked the same ones there. That's respectable. I mean, we're right.
We're right. So I'm gonna go with park icons. So if there's an attraction related to it, I mean, it's the whole piece, right? So I'm giving you start, bench, or trade Spaceship Earth, Cinderella's Castle, or the Tree of Life.
Ooh. Okay, this one's easy for me. I'm starting Spaceship Earth. I have so many pictures of Spaceship Earth on my phone. And I think all of us do as Disney fans, I would guess. Like, it's ridiculous, especially now with the lighting package they've added. Like, that made Spaceship Earth just come to life. It's got music now. It's a, it's basically a secondary fireworks show at Epcot at this point. You have to see it. You have to go take in the music. You want to see it from like one side or the other. Spaceship, and it's got it's got a great ride. I mean, just I love it's slow omnimover, but it's what Epcot used to be. It's like living with the land. It's like a little vault at this point. It's a piece of the past. So I'm going with that. Man, Tree of Life, or you said Cinderella Castle.
Cinderella Castle. Yep.
I got to put Cinderella Castle on the bench. I mean, it's a good bench player there. It's the most popular probably photo thing in the world. So it's good to have that there. And then I guess I get rid of, and I know you're a huge Animal Kingdom fan, but Tree of Life is awesome. It's got all the sculptures and everything, but I am going to trade that one just because of the awesomeness of the other two, but I'd love to keep it.
Yep. That's why this is so tough. Like I'm clearly going Spaceship Earth as my starter as well. I mean, Epcot's my favorite part. Like before I even went to Walt Disney World, I knew nothing about it. I knew there was like a Magic Kingdom thing or whatever. And then I knew there was this awesome like golf ball looking thing. And I just always like connected to Epcot. So like in Spaceship Earth in particular. So that's gotta be my starter. But I'm gonna trade Cinderella Castle I'm trading. It's just, I love it. I take all my marathon photos with it. I love running through it during the race. As you said, it's the most like iconic photograph thing, but like, I wish there was more to it. I mean, it's beautiful, but I wish there was like the walkthrough that you have at Disneyland. I love that. And I wish we had something like that. I agree.
Like when we went out there last summer, because I had heard that you could walk through it, but I had no idea. Like I thought it was like you walk in like one door and, like a horseshoe or something and come out. That walkthrough at the Disneyland Castle is so underrated. It is awesome. Like it is. I mean, it's unbelievably hot in there. As long as we were there in July.
Yeah, it is.
You don't fall out while you're walking through there. It is unreal. Like it is. I wish and I know they use Cinderella Castle for obviously Cinderella's Royal Table. They also use it for Booty Bobbity Boutique. So they're using it for revenue sources. But I wish there was some kind of an attraction or just like you said, a walkthrough, something that's not major, but you could interact with the castle.
Yeah, and I love all those things. And I knew how you were going to pick yours. That's why I wanted to do this because I just wanted to get some love for the Tree of Life because I think it is really well done. Like if you just spend some time out there. And I know our friend Safari Mike, man, would just like, like he's the best with this. Like he knows like all those animal carvings. And like, if you just spend some time staring at that, like walking around different angles of the park, like you realize like this is just spectacular what they did with that. And I love the walk through the queue of It's Tough to Be a Bug, like how you get more in depth with the tree. Like you can see different angles and all that. Like it's just a really masterful piece of work, I think. And I'll never forget that photo of my family and you and Mallory, like we're all stretched out in front of it. It's so epic. But I just wanted to do this to bring some conversation because I know Cinderella Castle is so great and I'm probably going to get hated on this. And I love Cinderella Castle, but I think the Tree of Life is a really great icon as well.
I agree. And I have a hypothesis about this too. I think like when you first become a Disney fan, your starter is going to be Cinderella Castle. But I think if you go for a longer period of time, your starter is going to switch over to either it could go to the Spaceship Earth, or it could have even gone like to the Tower of Terror.
I know I didn't put Tower of Terror on.
That's the one I was wondering about because I mean you could go with two different icons for the studios there. Yeah. That'd be interesting where people go. Okay, here's mine. So my next one, it's festivals at Epcot. Ooh. So you got Food and Wine, Flower and Garden, and Festival of the Arts. So you got to start one, bench one, trade one. What are you going with?
Okay, so I have a clear favorite. And that's just because nostalgia for me. Our first ever visit was in March of 2011, and I love Flower and Garden. Like Epcot doesn't look any better. I always say to you, Mike, like I wish they could just like do this all year long. Like it's so gorgeous, and it kind of kills me that I haven't been there all festival. Like I'll see it like on one of the last days, or I did see it on one of the last days, thankfully. But Flower and Garden is just tremendous. Just the topiaries, and now they brought in the food booths too. I think the food is actually better than all the other festivals too.
I agree.
I think it's just Epcot has just never looked any better in those months, and it's usually like, especially the early days of the festival, like I'm still like buried in snow at home, and I'm like, I just got to get down there and see something green, So clearly starting that one. Man, this is tough. I hate to like put something down and just trade it,
The trade really kills you. I
hope it got a good farm system. I hope I'm getting some good prospects, So, but I'm putting I'm putting on the waiver. I'm trading Wine and Dine. I think it's just kind of stale. Like it's not the same as it used to be. It's too long of a festival. I loved it when it like started in October, like when you guys used to do your epic
100%
October meet.
agree. This festival it's got a lot of hearty snacks. You know what I'm saying? And like these hearty snacks like cheddar cheese soup. You just don't want those things in July. You know what I'm saying? Like it needs to be, and I know Walt Disney World's in Florida, and Florida's a tropical climate. Like I think of fall festivals, you know, like around here in Missouri, come September, October, we have fall festivals that are based around food. You know, you have all kinds of like, you know, not clam chowders, but like pot pies and, you know, just like warm foods. And I used to associate Food and Wine with that. You're right, because it started at the end of September, and it was a great it was like a fall festival because September to Christmas, and you had that window, and I think it was better shorter.
I think so too, and yeah, I think that made the race weekend even better too, to some extent, because like, and this isn't a knock on the festival, but like with the race going to like daytime, like that's kind of when I started like not disliking it, but like the festival just went down for me, and I think Festival of the Arts was the other one, right? That's definitely on my bench. Like I used to go back and forth which one of those I like better with Flower and Garden, but it really is Flower and Garden for me. There's just something special about that festival. But I love what they've done with like the arts and the sidewalk chalk, like all the painting, like the Broadway stars coming in, and like the art for purchase. Like, you know, I love purchasing Disney art. It's just, and the weather is so great that time of year too, man. It's so great. Yeah. I'm always bummed that they're smart how they do it. Like it never falls under Marathon Weekend smartly.
Or Princess. Like they do that. Yeah. They get that gap.
Yeah. It's the gap between Marathon and Princess. It kills me that's how it works. So I've only gone like once or twice. Once was in 2021 when like they didn't do the races. So like, all right, we'll go down for Martin Luther King weekend and we can go see it. But great festival for sure. I'm guessing you're going to be the same on this.
Yeah, I'm trading Food and Wine, and one of the other, you said all the reasons really, but the other one is it just became too popular. Like it was always swamped. Like that festival. I mean, because a lot of kids, I guess, get fall breaks, and they're not always the same week. Yeah. And so that festival just got, especially when even towards the end when it was September to like right before Thanksgiving or so, like it was always crazy there, especially Wine and Dine race weekend. Wine and Dine race weekend just got insanely busy.
But you walk through, and all these have like shows like at the American Gardens Theater or whatever. And I think Wine and Dine has the best shows normally too. I mean, that's the thing. I think their shows are great, but it just doesn't. It's not enough to beat Flower and Garden for me because there's great shows during that time too. Like right now, I mean, a few weeks ago they had some great artists coming in.
Oh yeah. So I'm flip flopping. I'm my starter is going to be the Festival of the Arts, and I'm not really an arts guy. Like we don't go to the theater. You know, I'm more of a sports guy. I don't watch live theater or anything like that. But it's just so enjoyable being there, seeing those artisans, seeing the art that you can purchase, and some of it's not super expensive. You know, like you can get prints of resort art, or Disney characters. And it's a great way to maybe decorate your house when you get home or your office, get one piece of art to bring home as a souvenir. And they have live acts in the American Gardens Theater. And like you said, oh man, to get out of Missouri in like January and it's like 75 and sunny. I know it's not as pretty as Flower and Garden, but it works. And then I'm going to put, for all the reasons you said, Flower and Garden is my bench. It's just a solid, great springtime festival, great food, great entertainment, and it's just a great. And I mean, the park, like I said, that's where they plant all the flowers around the water and under the monorail tracks. It's just amazing.
Even that one's going kind of long now, but like I'm okay with it though because it's my favorite. So right, kind of selfish there, but all right, I want to do another round because I'm really excited for this next one.
We should do one more, then we'll get out because we did so long on Wednesday. We'll kind of keep this one short.
I tailored this one specifically for you. I'm so excited to hear your answer on this.
Okay.
Counter service restaurants is the theme. All right.
Yeah, I like it.
I have Primo Piatto,
Oof.
ABC Commissary.
Oh, you're killing me.
And Columbia Harbor House.
Oh man. I got to trade one of those.
Dude, I don't have to trade one of those.
I don't like being the GM and having to call them into my office.
But the manager is the one that normally gets the bad rep, I feel like. So it's okay being the GM in this case.
When somebody gets traded, they probably have to go into the GM's office, I'd imagine, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah.
You think that's who breaks
the manager might have been like, hey, this person's behaving badly, but the GM is going to take care of the dirty work.
Well, I mean, sometimes you probably didn't even do anything wrong. It's just like the Cardinals like they're probably going to trade Paul Goldschmidt. And he's doing okay. I mean, he's not a bad guy, but it's just we're terrible.
Gotta get some prospects,
right? Exactly. So, like, I would imagine the way it goes is the manager says that the general manager would like to see you, and the manager knows, but they don't want to tell the player. They just pass him off. Anyway,
that's in the movie Major League, though. Like the great Lou Graham, I think is his name, like the Indians manager. Like he's the one that has to cut people. So I don't know.
You may run like Hayes. You can finish that.
I'm not finishing that.
Anyway,
what you got? Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with your starter?
I'm trying to delay the inevitable so I can just get out of here without answering this question.
But you're answering.
So I am going to start ABC commissary because I just love that grilled cheese, the buffalo chicken grilled cheese. That's my favorite. There's something in it that I'm like addicted to it. I got like addiction. I love that. And I just love the whole feel of the place.
And the steak fries. Oh,
yes. Man. Oh man. Okay, so I'm going with that. Oh, this is where it's so hard. I guess I have to bench Columbia Harbor House just because
I didn't think you would go that way.
And I'm trading Primo Piatto because I just don't get, and I love it. This is hurting me.
Oh no, this is what I thought. Okay, yeah, this is what I thought you were going to do.
But Primo Piatto just isn't going to be on my radar as much as Columbia Harbor House. And Columbia Harbor House has a great seating above, like Liberty Square. You can watch people. You can get shrimp. You can get a lobster roll. You can get chicken. You can get other fish. Hush Puppy's underrated. They also have clam chowder, which is really good. Really versatile restaurant. Love the theme. It's in the Magic Kingdom. I go there all the time. So I got to put it on the bench to have. So Primo Piatto better have brought in a boatload in prospects. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So for you.
No, you're right. That is the way I thought you were going to go. Yeah, that's tough, isn't it? It's really tough. I'm actually going to start Primo Piatto though. I feel like this, I know like maybe Be Our Guest, like when they did the lunch kind of changed the counter service game a little bit, but I think Primo Piatto just took it up to that next level. Like when it first opened, and we got to experience this together, Mike. Like they had like the actual silverware. They brought it out, like it was so perfect. And since COVID, they haven't moved back to that. They still serve it to you in boxes, which kind of bums me out a little bit. I mean, I still kind of get it, but man, I wish the service and the silverware would come back. But their flatbreads are so great. That salad is one of the most like refreshing, like fresh entrees there is. Their little Greek salad. Their burger is amazing. I love those like Parmesan, like little truffle fries.
Those fries are super good. Those fries are amazing.
Yeah. And I love eating in there. It's nice and air conditioning. Like my only knock is they got the freestyle machines. Like, and I'm with you on that. Like those gotta go.
I talked about that a couple weeks ago. Those are brutal.
But you can go up, but then. Or you could just take your meal outside and you can catch that breeze and like watch the Skyliner go by. Like that setting is just absolutely perfect for me. So I'm starting that. ABC commissary is going on the bench. I mean, same reasons as you. Like I love that sandwich. I don't know what it is about it. Like I'm one that likes to like kind of switch up like my routine, like go to different places sometimes, splash in some different entrees. But every time I'm in the studios, I'm going there and I'm getting that sandwich. Like I just can't help it. Like that's just what I do.
And there's a lot of people rave about a couple of the other entrees. I just never want to deviate because that would be an opportunity lost to have my sandwich.
Exactly.
But I mean, I'm sure these other things are good. I'll
be sitting at home in Michigan, like kicking myself, like, why did you not? Like when I'm hungry, trying to figure out what to get.
I don't care how good the other things are. I'll be like, I didn't have my sandwich.
I know that'd be really sad. And then, I mean, Columbia Harbor House. I mean, it's not my favorite, but it's good. It's solid. The last time I went there, I think I got like this. Like platter that had all this like fried food, like it was crazy. I think it was
the trio, right? The shrimp, the chicken, and the fish. I
think some Hush Puppies, like you said, might have even been on there too.
I get the trio all the time.
Yeah. But I mean, you were right though. Like the upstairs is really nice. You can get like a seat by the window, look down on Liberty Square. Like that's a really cool thing to do. Sometimes you can see the parade coming through too, which is really cool. But I mean, all those options, like we got to hurt someone's feelings, like hopefully get some good prospects as we've been saying all night. But Columbia Harbor House is it's being traded.
And so everybody needs to check the waiver wire just and
see good stuff out there, right? Yeah.
They're sitting out there today. Okay, my last one for the show, and we're going to go with these three. We're going with Cosmic Rewind, Guardians of the Galaxy. We're going with Tron and Rise of the Resistance.
Ooh.
3 e-ticket attractions recently added to Walt Disney World.
Wow. So one of these I have not done, but obviously like I know about it, and that's Tron. My favorite attraction right now is hands down Cosmic Rewind. So that is definitely my starter. Like just one of the coolest rides I've ever been on. Like the pre-show is great. The queue is awesome. The music, the thrill, like it's almost like a 10 out. I don't like to give a perfect score for anything in life, but like it is close to a 10 out of 10 for me. It's just that great. And I know like you struggle with it with like the motion and all that. I wish you could just do it more, man. Like I've never even done it with you. Like, and that kind of makes me sad.
I've only done it once. I mean, I'm totally by myself. There wasn't nobody around me. Yeah, totally. Good thing.
I would love to, if you do it again, if we're going to do it this summer, like I would be awesome to do it together.
We've probably done it together at this point because the girls want to do it and I am going to do it with them. So we'll all do it together. I'll do it.
But then you got Tron and Rise of the Resistance. Oof. I mean, Rise of the Resistance on like like super uber Disney fans, it's probably like I'm probably on the lower of that. Like it's not like my favorite, but man, it is awesome though. Like it is so much great technology. I love the length of it. It's like a nice long ride. You know, you got some thrill in there, some action, great storytelling, and I'm gonna take the easy way out here and just say I haven't done Tron yet, so I'm gonna trade Tron. And like, I mean, from what I heard from it, it sounds awesome. It's just really short, is like the really only down thing I hear. Correct. And then you compare that to Rise of the Resistance, which is like one of the longer attractions. So it's a no brainer for me that Rise is being benched, and then Tron is going on the waivers.
That's good. That's good. I like your thoughts there. So mine actually, I'm gonna go with I'm trading. Simply, and I know this is probably the best attraction at Walt Disney World right now, at least top 2 is Cosmic Rewind, but I'm trading it because it makes me a little ill. But I've done it, and I was blown. Plus, I've never seen any of the Guardians movies, so I don't.
I'm telling you, you don't need to see the movies. But yeah,
it's like the little raccoon, he's fun. Like everybody, like all the characters seem funny. You know, the girl, the alien girl, and the guy that I guess he's from St. Peter's, where I'm from. I keep looking for him. You know, don't see him around, but. Yeah, it's obviously cutting edge technology with the sound system, with the cars, with how they move on the track, and it's fast. Like there's a lot happening.
It's so smooth. Like
it's a pretty long ride too. It's not short.
Yeah, and I wish Rock and Roller Coaster could just take in that sound system. That's like don't even get me started on that. But like the sound system is always so crisp. It's easy to hear, and then you go on Rock and Roller Coaster, and sometimes you can barely hear it. The speakers blown out or whatever. Like. That's what frustrates me. I'm going down another tangent there, but
hopefully they fixed it though. They just did that lengthy refurb. Maybe something.
Yeah. Oh, maybe we'll find out today. Let's go write it today, huh?
Let's go. Okay, so real quick. So I'm trading Cosmic Rewind. I am benching Tron because I like Tron. It was because it's an 80s thing. I'm an 80s guy, and also it is short, which that is in my wheelhouse. Like that ride could have made me a little ill if it would have gone on for probably another solid minute. Like when it came to the end, I was like. Made it like and it was fun like because it's fast. It feels like you're on a motorcycle and you're just zooming around and it's very visual with the grid and stuff. I think I got out because again it's virtual queue, so you really don't get to pick when you ride it. I rode it during the blazing like noon time. I'd have much rather ridden it at night. I think it would have been better because part of it's outside. But I'll put that on the bench. Rise of Resistance to me is still the best attraction Walt Disney World's ever done. Because it's the length and it's as close as you can get to being in the Star Wars universe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, because you go in and then a cast member will come out like, come on, we got to go to this next piece, and you got like, you're involved in the story, then you're on a transport, then, okay, get out of the transport. Now you're in with stormtroopers. Okay. Now you got to go in and you're getting put into a cell. Yeah. There's so many steps to it before you're even in a vehicle to ride the attraction itself. It's so immersive and it's storytelling at its best and it's long. So you get a lot for your thing.
It's like being in the movies. Like that's what Hollywood Studios kind of tries to portray, right? Like you're in the movies and they hit it out of the park with that one for sure.
Yeah, that one is. So that's my starter. And my trade is Cosmic Rewind and my bench is going to be Tron. So there
I wonder how many people we upset today.
We probably did, but you know what? The thing is, you have to do it to one of them out of the three. There's always 3 good solid.
We loved everything on these lists. We love and we're fans of. It was painful to cut one of them for sure.
Absolutely. So now we're turning it over to you and we'll carry this over to Sunday night. So if you got to give us a beef, call us Sunday night, 7:00 Eastern, 6:00 Central. We'll be on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. We want to hear from you. And Epscott, EPSCOT, at Be Our Guest Mike, Instagram and Twitter, especially Twitter. Just let us know your thoughts and where we messed up or what you would have picked. And we can this is a game you can easily play on Twitter. You can just throw 3 things out and we can tell you what order we put them in. We'll do that this weekend. All right, don't forget our show is brought to you by the Magic for Less travel agent, standing by right now to help you get down to these experiences at Walt Disney World or head out to the West Coast at Disneyland, sail with Disney Cruise Line, or see the world with Adventures by Disney, just swing by themagicforless.com today. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do. BeOurGuestPodcast.com/Amazon. And a sincere thank you to the patrons who allow us to put all these shows on. Thank you so much for that. If you'd like to join us starting at just $5 a month, it's patreon.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. You'll get that bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. All right, Scott, a lot of fun this week. Appreciate having you on the show.
Lots of fun hanging out together, man. We haven't seen each other. Like, I haven't seen your girls in a long time. Actually, I've seen Paige the most recent, which is kind of funny.
Hang out with her in Chicago, right?
Yeah. So thanks for making great memories this week, and can't wait to talk about them.
That's right. We have fun here, and we'll continue to do so. So thanks for hanging with us here on a Friday. We hope you have an awesome weekend. So for Scott, I'm Mike. Wishing you an awesome weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. That worked.
I think it's fun to talk about the future when you have like no idea. Like, what
I know, it could have been terrible. It could have been a hurricane. Who knows? But yeah, you just guessed.
Who knows? I could have like jumped into the ocean or something by accident.
Let's hope not.
Yeah.
Let me save this real quick. It's so dark in here now.
Yeah, it's dark now. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what am I going to do tonight. I kind of wanted to go for a walk, but it's the coolest part of the day, so it could be a good time. But I haven't really like talked to Emily today, so probably go hang out with her.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I haven't told the same Mallory today either.
Gotta play the dad role.
I gotta do some work for bed too, and I gotta edit these 2 shows.
Now I'm working at home tomorrow because the furniture's being delivered.
Yeah, so send me a picture when you get it in.
I will.
All right. Well, we are going to duck Tanja. Thank you so much for hanging with us. We appreciate that and hope to see you down at Walt Disney World sometime soon.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
Awesome. All right. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
I'll see
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
All right. See you. Bye.
See you, man.